there are jobs that one always means to. Hi, this is Texan in the UK's husband, down at the allotment, and I've started on one of those projects I've been dreading, digging. This is a West Country rotavator, commonly known as a spade, and basically I'm going over this clay ground which was worked a little bit a couple of years ago by my good lady, with the hope that we can either prepare it nicely for next spring or maybe even put in a late crop or something this year. We'll see how we go. Anyway, it is quite hard going. This is about 35-40 minutes worth of work here, maybe a bit more. Quite heavy clay, but it's interesting that in the areas where my wife has worked the soil in the past, and she scattered other soil and various bits and bobs on it, towards this corner over here, the soil where you can see probably is a little bit darker, is actually quite a bit better, a bit more friable. Anyway, this is giving it a chance to do something. Sitting under black plastic for probably the best part of a year has helped tremendously. There is still a bit of weed about, as evidence there, but not too much. So anyway, the project's in order, are not in order, but nevertheless they're still moving forward. So providing they're moving forward, that's some progress. Over here to our little raised bed experiment. This raised bed's doing really well. It's interesting because this is the one that's got shallow soil depth down onto the plastic that's then got drain holes. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes compared to this one. And in here we have pinto beans to the left, butternut squash to the middle, and kidney beans down this side here. All looking nice and healthy, growing well. Over here, the most recently planted one, the larger bed, tomatoes at one end, and what looks like some Chinese cabbage or something similar there. And then we've got 3 okra, and then we've got some butternut squash here, which we transplanted from over here to give everybody a bit more room. And then here we have some black-eyed peas. And everything seems to be going pretty well. The only thing I'm not too sure about is these black-eyed peas, because they seem a bit light in colour compared to the deeper green over here. You can see these look a bit yellow, but we'll see how they go. Might just be the shock of being moved. See, something's nibbled slightly, or we've got some dieback on that little line of brassicas that are in there, but we'll keep our eyes on it. Tomatoes are loving it. They're really perked up in this soil. Still, a lot to do, and need to crack on. Now, over here, not quite sure what's going on here. Something's been about. Anyway, this is the area that eventually will have the potting shed. But in the meantime, I think it's back to the digging. Well, it might not look like much, but it's a chunk done. I guess it's probably about 25% of the lower half of this section dug over. It'd have been great to have this done early spring, but we've just not had the weather for it. Or I haven't had the inclination, I'm not sure which. Anyway, it's my wife's birthday tomorrow, and I would have loved to have got more than this done for her, because really this is her allotment, and it's been her thing to want to be able to grow vegetables at least to a semi-sustaining level, and I really haven't probably given her the support that she's needed to be able to get the soil ready. She's worked really hard over the last few years trying, but as I say, she hasn't really had the support, and so now I'm giving her hopefully the opportunity and the support to move things along a bit here, and hopefully by the end of this season and into next spring, providing we do get a spring of course, then we'll be prepared for a reasonable planting and hopefully a reasonable crop. But our other stuff is doing really well. To be honest, it's a picture of health with the exception of 1 or 2 small plants. And it's interesting now that everything's all laid out, how you start to spot things that have been missed or not done properly, but I'll get to it. There's a whole section that I didn't treat on one of the planks of my little pallet raised bed, and despite my comments about straightening it up, I never really did straighten it up that much. But having said that, this is an allotment and nothing's that straight or square to start with. The main thing is it's about growing veg, and that's what we're trying to do here. Well, that's about it. Pretty boring update, but there you go. Just scan around the allotment site, so it'll give you an idea of what the place looks like overall. The soil here is very heavy clay. It's quite hard going, it's quite hard to dig, but the black plastic going down changes the soil from that to that in a matter of probably about 6 to 8 months. So then you get a chance to turn it at least to that, which looks more like a ploughed field, but a ploughed field is a step in the right direction here. Hopefully I can break this down tomorrow. I'm trying to get an area prepared for some second crop potatoes, which I've never tried before, which should prove interesting, so we'll give you an update on that as and when. Anyway, Dave's getting bored, so I guess he wants to go home, and it's 5 o'clock, so it's getting near tea time here in the UK. And looking at the weather over that way, we might be getting a bit of rain coming in, so he and I are going to wend our weary way home from the garden allotment. So this is Texan in the UK's husband, wishing you all well in YouTube land, as I've heard somebody else call it. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe, be happy. God bless, speak to you soon, bye.